Frank was born on the 28th of February 1929 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, to Sadie Thelma and Irving Goldberg. He has a sister, Doreen. He and his family immigrated to LA in 1947 when he was a teenager, which is when he started his architectural studies. He studied at the University of Southern California. After he finished his studies, he then went on to study city planning at Harvard University. Frank's love of design started as a child. A source states that his most lasting impressions from childhood are when he would play with his grandmother, Leah. She would spill the blocks on the floor, then she and Frank would sit for hours building imaginary buildings, bridges, and cities. In 1978, they bought the Gehry residence, located in Santa Monica, United States. The house was said to be a balance of fragment and whole, raw and defined, new and old. He kept the existing house almost entirely intact, but in an unconventional way. He designed the new extension to be built around the original. The neighbors hated it. The apex of the old house peeked out above the extension with a mix of materials and exposed structures, making the house seem as though it's always under construction. The house got a second renovation due to the birth of his two sons, the family needing more space. After this renovation, the house looked more complete, which angered those who loved the original raw deconstructivist aesthetics. Gehry is recognized internationally for his works, including the US, Europe, and Asia. He has earned many awards during his career, but his top 5 most significant awards are the Pritzker Architecture Prize in 1989, the National Medal of Arts in 1998, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016. Frank Gehry states that, "For me, every day is a new thing. I approach each project with a new insecurity, almost like the first project I ever did. And I get the sweats. I go in and start working, but I'm not sure where I'm going. If I knew where I was going, I wouldn't do it." Gehry believes that an architect's design should be able to evoke an emotional response throughout centuries. He wants to design something that could shock people even from 500 years into the future. His design thinking is creating unique feelings using creative and unique materials and forms. He would do this so that observers would be moved after seeing these buildings. He states that architecture should speak of its time and place, but yearn for timelessness. He strongly believes that architecture is art. He always strives to make new and unique designs that are worthy of being called art and that push the boundaries of conventional architecture. Take a chance to jump off into the unknown and not be afraid to do that, Frank Gehry. He considered his buildings to be more than just functions. He wanted to inspire others through them. He believes that people are the most important part of architecture and shows this through the use of humanizing aspects in his designs. He wants to show movement, but he has always struggled to build what he could draw. The Guggenheim Museum is probably Gehry's most famous work. It is located in Bilbao, Spain, and was completed on the 18th of October 1997. His design philosophies and theories are clearly illustrated through this project. The design is bold, striking, and dynamic. Form: the museum is made up of dynamic sweeping forms unfolding into each other to create a unique sculptural building with its inventive use of fluid sculptural form and curves, creating a bold and striking image. Materials: it consists of 3 main materials: the titanium panels that encase the flowing forms, the limestone base, and the glass atrium. Light: the curved forms encased in the titanium panels are designed to reflect and catch the light from the sky and the city. Gehry has created a building that evokes emotion in people. It is shocking and awe-inspiring. He purposely designed the museum to contrast the surrounding cityscape, which is post-industrial. He focused on the city's industrial past and the organic forms of fish and their movements. These are the concept drawings and plans for the Guggenheim Museum. You can see here that Gehry's drawings, which he referred to as scribbles and freeform line drawings, are unique. When questioned why he chose to use the movement of fish, Gehry responded, "Why not fish? There are enough reasons, formal and strategic, for him to adopt the shape." He used this as his entryway into the creative thought process for many of his works. He would input his designs later on into CAD technology to complete the rest of his process, such as engineering software, which was originally developed for airplane manufacturers, to help with the specifications of his frequent use of curves. His process also included handmade models. In contrast, the interior of the building is a large, light-filled atrium with curved structures. This is the center of the building, which is connected to the surrounding galleries and exterior views. The interior also includes a mix of traditional rectangular and unconventionally shaped galleries for both permanent and temporary exhibitions. Frank Gehry received a lot of criticism for his Guggenheim design, although now it is congratulated. Gehry states that, quote, "All of this is apparent from the disjunctive, inelegant conditions that this shape engenders, from the perverse, inconvenient system of pedestrian circulation." Frank Gehry versus Robert Venturi. Gehry's forms are sculptural and symbolic through their shape and materials. Comparatively, Venturi's designs often include adding or superimposing symbolic elements onto a structure. When asked, while Venturi embraced pop culture and symbolism, Gehry embraced chaos and fragmentation, can both be considered postmodern, or does Gehry's work represent a departure from Venturi's core principles? We thought long and hard about our answer, and we came up with, Gehry's style is very sculptural, bold and expressive, and his design thinking led him to be a key figure in the deconstructivist movement. However, his play with traditional architecture also led him to be included in the postmodernism design as well. Gehry wants his work to be playful in the way children are playful, which includes being inventively irresponsible with extant models, because he doesn't believe that the answers to an unanticipated lie in a retrospective teleology imposed on the past.